This is Carrie Johnson with the Iowa Department of Management, and this is part 5 of a 6-part training module about submitting data to the Department of Management's property valuation system. This is general in nature, and it's going to sort of walk through the system and the different things that you need to do within the system. And this particular module is going to talk about the different reports that you can run in the property valuation system and some things you might want to take a look at. So when you log into the system, on the left-hand navigation at the very bottom, really, you'll see an option for reports. And it'll bring up a variety of different reports that are available to you logged in as the county auditor. So these are reports that are going to be a little bit different than what the general public might see. And these are reports that are going to be for your county, as opposed to being statewide or, other counties' reports. So in the reports menu, if you know a particular report that you want to search for, you can type it within the name box here, and it will pull up that report for you as a search item. Otherwise, there's a variety of different reports that you'll see here. The reports are available to you as a PDF, the red icon, or as a CSV, which you can then download into an Excel format, and you can manipulate the data or do whatever you need to do with it. As far as report parameters, when you go to run a report, you would select the year. So you can select some prior year's data if you want to run a report from a previous year. And then, of course, it's going to populate your county for you if it's a county-wide report. If it was a situation where you wanted to run a report for, say, a school within your county, then you would select the levy authority school and then select your particular school. So you would click OK. And then it's going to indicate to you that the report is being generated. So you'll see this green icon up in the top right while the report is being generated. Once it is generated, it'll tell you that the report generated successfully and give you an option to download it. So then it will be available to you in PDF or in CSV based on the selection you had made. A couple of reports that you want to make sure to run before you submit data into the system, sort of double check type reports. One is a gas and electric reconciliation report. So what this does is it's a report that you can run. So it tells for you all the different taxing districts that have gas and electric value and what their assessed and taxable value are within the system. Why would you run this report? What we strongly recommend is that you run this report and then compare it to the same report from Department of Revenue, just to make sure that the data that you have uploaded into the valuation system is the same as the data that was given to you by Department of Revenue. Now, there may be instances where there are changes. Say you, as a county auditor, had to delete a taxing district, so you moved gas and electric value from one taxing district to another. If that's the case, you just need to make sure that you have completed a Form 2 document and submitted that to Department of Revenue and to the utility company, so everyone is on the same page for where that value needs to be in the 2019 valuation year. But definitely run this report, do the comparisons, and make note of any changes. Why would we do that? I mean, I have had a situation where someone uploaded the incorrect year valuation file for gas and electric. I mean, things happen, so it's just a good double check when you're working in the system. Tax district summary report. This just is a report that shows you each and every tax district that you have uploaded and the total net valuation with and without gas and electric. So it's a good summary of all the tax districts that you have and that you're reporting. Estimated TIF area revenue report. You want to run this report and make sure that what we're indicating as being estimated revenue for these different increment districts and for the areas in general are matching what you're showing on your local system and meeting the expectations to the best of your ability for those TIF authorities. Is this generating the right amount of revenue? Or if it's not supposed to be generating revenue, but it is, what's going on? Do we need to, look at some of those in greater detail? So please run this report and compare it to your local expectations and make sure that you're getting the results that you expect. Key change report for taxing districts. If you've made some changes, you want to take a look and make sure that these changes are meeting your expectations. So in this example, we ran that key change report for taxing districts. And we see, a new base and increment pair that was created, and it's just, giving you a summary of those new taxing districts. And it's just a good way to take a look and make sure, again, that the changes that you made are what you expect. It's a good summary. Key change report for taxing districts. If you made no changes, then when you ran the report, you would expect to see no records found. So just sort of be aware, if you run the report and you see no records found, that's because the system is not seeing that you made any changes to taxing districts. And if that was your intent, then it would be correct. Key change report for TIF areas. Again, this is a similar report that you would run that would tell you any changes that you had made to TIF areas. In this particular example, we created a new TIF area that was a consolidated TIF area. And so this is just a report telling us that this was the new one we created. So again, if you didn't have any changes to TIF areas, you would expect to see the no records found option when you ran the report. Taxable valuation by levy authority. You're going to want to run this for each and every one of your levy authorities to make sure that these look correct and match your local system. So you can run this report for prior years, but obviously in this example, when we're submitting our 2019 value, we're going to want to run that 2019 report, select our levy authority type, and then select the particular levy authority. The report's going to look like this, which is sort of what this report has always looked like, where it's got the 6 columns going across, and it shows the particular levy authority. In this case, it was the Wapello County Ag Extension, and it's got the 6 columns going across, and we want to make sure that all 6 columns are correct. Column A is the value for computing tax rates. It does include gas and electric value in it. So there's column A. Column B would be if there was any increment value that levy authority is able to tax against. And then column C is the sum of A and B. So it would be a situation where, say it's a levy authority that can tax against increment value with their debt service, for instance. So then you would see value in column C. In this case, it's an ag extension. They don't have debt service. They're never able to tax against an increment value, so there's nothing in column B or C. Column D is the value that's used for computing the property taxes levied. So that's going to exclude the gas and electric value. It's going to list just that value that's within the ability to generate actual property tax dollars. So gas and electric value would be excluded. Okay, so 100% value by levy authority is another report that you'd want to run, and you want to check to be certain that each levy authority is correct, both before and after military exemptions are deducted. So this is, just another one of those reports that you're going to want to make sure is correct. Levy authority valuations by class, 100% and taxable. This is a report that you're going to want to run that is used by your levy authorities to help them estimate their commercial and industrial replacement. So you want to run this, take a look, make sure that the 100% and the taxable look correct by levy authority. Again, this is something that your levy authorities will use when they estimate their commercial and industrial replacement tax. So take a look at those, make sure those make sense. Levy authority valuations by class, both 100% and taxable. Again, I do suggest you compare this year's total valuations by class to last year's valuations by class. It's something that would stick out to you. Are there large changes? If there are large changes, can they be explained? Is this not a situation where there's been an error in something reported in a class incorrectly? Was there simply a large industrial property, for instance, that came onto the tax rolls this year, and that's what that large change is? So just sort of take a look, compare, see if you can be sure to explain any deviations from the prior year that are greater than, just a regular growth situation. And if you need more information about what exactly might be behind a particular change, you can always visit with your assessor and they can give you some more information on any sort of property valuation situations that have happened within your county. Another important report to run is the tax district recap report. If you ran that in PDF, it would present for you each taxing district as its own page. So it would present for you all the basic information about that taxing district up on top, what kind of taxing district it is, its name, its number, the number of homesteads, all that sort of general information. And then for that taxing district, it would provide for you both the 100% value and the taxable value by each and every class. So sometimes when you have an error that you're not sure what's going on, or there's an error showing in a particular taxing district, this is a good way to just pull up that taxing district and take a look at it in total and maybe pin down what's going on with that particular error. On the bottom of that tax district recap report, it's also going to provide for you the assigned levy authorities. So each and every levy authority that's able to tax in that particular taxing district. It also would provide for you the tax rate if you ran this report, say, at the end of the tax process or for a prior year. If you ran the 2018 tax district recap report, you would see the tax rates populated. Obviously, for 2019, we're at the very beginning of the tax process, so these tax rates would be 0. The tax district recap report is also available for you in a CSV format. So it's just a good opportunity to download the information in an Excel file if you want to do some summations or some checks. It's a good way to take a look at it in a different format. And one thing too, similar to what I talked about with the tax district recap PDF report, when you run it in CSV, you can also see the tax rate populated for each of those levy authorities. So at the end of the tax rate process, when you want to do some comparison and make sure that you have the tax rates that match the state system, this is a good report to run just to do those checks. If you have any questions at all about running different reports in the system, please let me know.